Happy Friday, Campus Life. Hope everybody has had a great week. Again, live from Belfast today, very excitingly. Got a very special guest who I'll introduce to you in a minute. But first of all, birthday shout outs. We've got a host of them. I don't know what's going on. Clodagh Scott, happy birthday to you. Andrea Proctor, Barbara MacArthur, Gary Blakely, who I think's birthday is actually today. Dave Brown turned 40. Who else? Who have I missed? Yvonne Richmond, who I did do a little extra shout out because I kind of forgot you last week and I'm really sorry about that, Yvonne. And Mark Snape, the big 6-0 for next week. So happy birthday to you all. Also a big shout out to Julie Nelson, who is in the IFA women's football match tonight. Big game, 7 o'clock BBC Sport. Please go on and join watching Julie to hopefully success. And also a little shout out is that I have a new arrival in my family, a new Campus Life team member, little Elsie, 8 weeks old, little West Highland White pup. So super exciting, but I'll share a little picture of her shortly. So Northern Ireland restrictions, as you know, effective today. So we've had to make a decision to furlough about 35 of our sports services staff just for the next 2 weeks. We'll obviously monitor the situation, but hopefully it'll only be for 2 weeks. So thank you to all of those who have been so understanding of all of that. We're also doing our arrangements for Christmas and the rotas for the services both in sports and also for Res Life. And exciting Christmas packs being put together for the students that are staying with us. We've probably got about 60 students over Christmas, which is a lot more than we've ever had before. So thanks to the team for all the efforts with that. Catering back to takeaway only, of course. And other exciting news is that next Friday we're having a Campus Life team event. I have a very special guest speaker, Johnny Farrell from Stand By Me. So he's going to be joining us for half an hour. And then we'll have sort of 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after, and you can grab yourself a beer or a glass of wine at home and we can have a bit of a yarn and just a chat, which will be nice. And then Santa run/walk/jog virtually next week. And I think there'll be more information come out about that. Fundraising for Mind Your Mood, of course, so please make sure you just get out around the house, around the block, wear your Santa hat, take a photo and donate. That would be brilliant. So without further ado, very excited to welcome our very own Neve, who is leaving us next week. So welcome, Neve. We're going to try and do socially distanced videoing here.
Yeah. Oh God, take off the mask.
So we're very excited to have you with us, and many of you will know Neve because she is the Chief Operating Officer of Ulster University and has been with us for 5 years, has it been?
4.5.
4.5, close enough.
It feels a bit longer.
So it's appropriate that we're here in GBD in the background because, of course, Neve has been the driving force behind getting this building up, and so incredible achievement. But Neve was also the founder of Campus Life and the team that you guys are all in. So I thought it was really appropriate to interview Neve today, and I just wanted to sort of start by saying, what was your kind of vision, I think, for Campus Life back in 2016 when you first came up with the concept and the restructure? What was your thinking?
Well, when I first arrived at Ulster, I have to say I was a bit disillusioned by what I saw was a certain amount of complacency about the student experience. Maybe this was my first conversation I had with the Student Union President, Colin Mackey, at the time. And I just had a sense that they were not actually the priority for the university. And just a few examples, and there was lots of great stuff, don't get me wrong, and lots of people who really were putting the student first, but there were a lot of examples I thought, well, this is just not really empathising with students and thinking about the fact that a university experience is such a critical part of their overall personal transformation and growth. So I wanted to make sure there was going to be a real focus and empathy around the non-academic part of the student experience. Building on strengths that did exist, but really looking at the student experience, the lived experience for students, and really looking at through their lens. And so the Campus Life portfolio, my vision was really that we would have a portfolio which was holistic, looking at all aspects of the non-academic provision, particularly bringing together student well-being with obviously sport, catering, and all the cultural events like the Riverside. And actually, I'm so delighted around how the portfolio has delivered over the last few years, and things that I saw were happening then in 2016 I know would never happen now. I know that there really is a closer real empathy with the student experience, and through Amanda's leadership. I mean, Amanda came in around 17, 18. And obviously we had an interim, Michelle Schubert, for a year or so, but or 6 months actually was only. Amanda has done a fantastic job, I think, in just really galvanising everybody behind that vision, and has done really what I had always wanted the portfolio to be. And of course all of you have come in behind her and have been, I think, really exceptional in how you've even most recently responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. I know you have all been in the front line, whether it's in residences, catering, and as Amanda said, you've taken on board the fact that some staff have had to be furloughed, which of course is all regrettable. And I'm sure you've all grown, adapted and learnt, but at all times I have been entirely confident that you have put the student at the centre of all of your efforts.
And so I guess if you could maybe call out one or two kind of highlights from your time here at Ulster, maybe they relate to campus life, maybe not, but you know, what would you say is a couple of your key achievements, what you've been most proud of?
Most proud of? Well, I suppose the big things for me were really about changing culture, both in relation to students but also in relation to all our staff, and I do think those portfolios have really helped along with the broader leadership to create a different type of personal empathy and a more human side of Ulster University. So I think that is great, and I'm really proud that we've moved in that direction. I mean, the other high point, I suppose, has been behind me, and just being able to see this project through its difficulties, let us say, and to know that you'll all be moving there next year. And I know that Campus Life, through the Student and Campus Workstream, are working really hard to make sure that it is absolutely groundbreaking in terms of how it improves the experience for staff and students.
Yeah, brilliant. Lastly, top tip for staying positive. I know you're very active. We were seeing that with your support of sports and involved with the golf and all that, tennis champion and all. Any other top tips in terms of, I guess during this time when we feel a little isolated at times, have you got a top tip for the team?
Top tip for the team, particularly I suppose going into 2021, I think, is to be optimistic. I think there's a huge grounds for optimism, and to have got through what you have over the last few years, and particularly the last 8 months, should give everybody real confidence and optimism that you as a team and a portfolio will go from strength to strength.
Brilliant. We do have a little gift for Niamh, which I'd like to thank Alison Moffat specifically for. So I'll hand that over to Niamh in a little bit. On behalf of Campus Life, we want to thank you for all you've done. Great leadership, great vision. You've brought me to my new home, so I personally want to thank you very much for that. And we will miss you a lot.
Oh, well, listen, I insist upon... I'm not supposed to touch. I'm insisting on having the last word, which is to thank Amanda for her leadership, and all of you for all the work you've done on the front line and you continue to do. I think you're an amazing team, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Niamh. We are Team Awesome after all. Lastly, quickly, quote of the week as always. Remember, for everything you have lost, you have gained something else. And without the dark, you would never see the stars. And with that, have a brilliant weekend, Campus Life. Chat to you next week.